Hello there, welcome back to the Ogre, the old Git Reacts, Reviews and Off Times Reminisces. Today we're doing something I just found on the internet last night, so I haven't really heard much of it. Just a brief bit from each song, just see whether it's not good enough for me to buy, which it is. It's going to be on my collection, not during this video, but certainly straight after. Anyway, so Wandelaars, presumably from Belgium. Can't say too much about it because I've heard very little, so let's just crack on, shall we? Let's go. I was thinking, not today, not the day before, yesterday, sometime recently, I was thinking when I was doing this sort of thing, that one of these days when I don't properly listen to an album, I'm not bothered about doing reactions unless one is recommended to me. You know, there are songs I've reacted to fresh about hearing them, but I tend to sort of, if it's a new song, new album rather, I tend to flick through and get an idea. And sometimes I'll listen to the whole album 2 or 3 times before I'll do one of these reviews. And sometimes, as is the case here, I will listen to a few seconds or half a minute of each song and say, yeah, I think I like this. And I'm still waiting for the occasion whereby I do this and I'm halfway through a song and it all goes pear-shaped and I think, fucking hell, this is shite. What the bloody hell am I doing here? Whether I'm actually honest enough when that time comes to actually upload said video remains to be seen, because I'm not in the habit of sort of saying something's rubbish just because I don't like it, because that isn't fair, is it? But anyway, what's the point of making it? Oh, I'm happy to report, is the point I'm getting to, that this, despite only hearing about 20-30 seconds of the beginning of this, I'm happy to report that my fears of coming across a song that I actually don't like haven't come to pass here, and so far I'm enjoying it. It's sort of ambient, atmospheric black metal, which takes you to a place, and for me these sort of songs take me to wide open spaces, an expanse if you will, where you've got a panorama, and dependent on the nuances and aspects of a song, that panorama may change throughout, or it may remain the same. But repetition in music, of course, often means that you some people get taken into a trance by it, but I do get taken somewhere where I am relaxed, and this is relaxing for me, even though, of course, it's dynamic and is full of moment. So I've got something of a dirge here, certainly at the moment. Often dirge is a derogatory term for music, that it's featureless and perhaps boring. But for me, dirges are place setters for emotion and atmosphere. And yes, certainly if a dirge doesn't have its nuances, then yes, it may well get boring. But here, it is sort of painting the picture, and it remains to be seen if the greys, shades of grey here, are interrupted at any point by more colour. But dirges by dint are repetitious, and so again we get back to that bit where if you're going to be taking places and you're in a reverie, you don't want bouncing out of it by some sudden change of emphasis, or something grand and pompous bouncing in there and ruin it all. You want to remain in that place that you've taken yourself to, or the music's taken yourself to, and again, I'm happy to report that here that remains to be the case. Of course, commenting as I am means that the effect isn't as full as it would be if I was just sat in the dark with headphones on, listening to it in its entirety. But the fact that I can still find myself sort of drifting away, even when I'm thinking about what to say, and having to stop the music, speaks volumes for the music itself. So if we take the album cover as an example of what I'm going to say, sometimes when you're in reality walking through these landscapes, I mean, here it's grey with bits of brightness from the snow there. Sometimes though, when you walk into these valleys, you'll find a little gully where a spring has enabled some shrubs to grow, and you get a bit of greenery amongst the drabness. That hasn't happened here. I was sort of wondering whether it would, and it hasn't. But nonetheless, you still get subtle aspects of brightness. And if we use the album covers as an analogy, you've got those patches of snow where the sun doesn't find it because of the terrain around it, and so amongst the grey there are elements of brighter aspects where as I say, the snow lays, and very, very subtly on this song you get that underlying brightness at times, which just relieves. There's a danger with dirgy music or atmospheric music that it becomes boring. There's not enough. You need to have a degree of texture to it, or different texture, and there is here enough to maintain that hypnotic feel to it, but still prevent it being hypnotic because it's boring you shitless. So there's been a bit of a difference in the vocals on here. The last section, the most obvious, but there's been Bart vocals, the typical growly, rafy vocals, and then we've got this clean singing. Clean singing on these sort of songs can be very hit and miss. It depends on how the vocalist performs it. Sometimes it can be absolutely cheesy and sound awful. But here, I wouldn't say there's any soulfulness to it, but it doesn't sound twee or out of place. It's sort of it's dour, shall we say, which goes well with the songs. And then there's a bit of a motif in the guitar here, which at the moment sounds like the sort of riffs that bring closure to a song, and depends on your mood, can either convey a sense of the tragic, or for me these sort of riffs really paint a picture of triumph or hope. So again, it depends on the listener subjectively to interpret the feelings these songs give, but for me there's a lightening of the mood. Whether that's intended, I don't know. So there you go. I'm not sure really whether these sort of songs work well for reactions, because they perhaps don't have the sort of songs, as I said, that you listen to probably with headphones in a darkened room for the full effect. So whether they work particularly well in these circumstances, I don't know. But nonetheless, I've enjoyed listening to that, and it has, as I say, given me thoughts, which is good. The rest of the album, from the flicking I've done through it, suggests more of the same, and I guess it will result in me later on today, when night drops, in reclining with a hot cocoa, headphones on, and listening to the rest of this, eyes closed, and seeing where it takes me. I think I've got a good idea for now where that will be, but anyway, there you go. Click your bollocks then. Catch you all next time. Cheerio.